Have you ever been thinking that, man, if I could just earn some more money, that will solve all my problems? And then you actually went out and started earning more money. Maybe you got another job, maybe you got a raise by switching jobs, and you still ended up in the same situation that you were in before you got the new job or even start working the second job. Well, if that is the case, in this video, we're going to be talking about why it is that having more money does not make you rich. So I started reading this book by Robert Kiyosaki called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he said something very, very important, and that is that many people are not financially literate. And because they are not financially literate, this is what causes them to go throughout their entire life living a life of disgust. And that life of disgust is basically not being able to have the financial independence or the financial freedom that they truly desire to have. So, one of the things that you must learn is you must learn finances. You have to be able to become financially literate, and anybody can become financially literate. Robert Kiyosaki actually broke it down in simple terms. And what we actually end up having here is this right here is called a financial statement, which basically has your income and your expenses. Then we have down here something called a balance sheet that not many people know about. And this is basically your assets versus your liabilities. Now, when it comes to assets, what exactly are assets and what are liabilities? Well, first, an asset is something that puts money into your pocket. So that can be a vending machine. Maybe you have a vending machine business and you're able to collect cash off of there. Maybe you have a rental car business. Maybe you do Airbnb. Maybe you have a business selling cupcakes. Anything that's going to put money into your pocket, that is considered to be an asset. Now, as far as a liability, that is the opposite. A liability is something that actually takes money out of your pocket. And you want to stay away from those things. And that would be anything like maybe you have an expensive car that you are currently leasing or that you are owning or financing. And maybe you're paying, $400 or $500 a month. Maybe you have a lot of credit cards. Maybe you end up having, different things that you cannot afford, but it is taking money out of your pocket. Now, when it comes to these terms, a financial statement, a balance sheet, an asset, a liability, there are three different mindsets that you have to think of. And the reason why, you go get another job and maybe you went and got a promotion and you're earning more money, the reason why you are not still fulfilled financially is because of the fact that you have one of these three mindsets. And the first mindset is, which I'll actually switch colors. The first mindset is you have a poor mindset. Now you might be thinking like, well, Matthew, what is a poor mindset? Well, the way that a poor mindset works is you have your job right now. So let's say that you have your job. Well, what ends up happening is once you have your job, you have your income coming here. So your job is your income. And we're just going to label this bubble number one. Well, then with the poor mindset for bubble number one, you end up going from bubble number one to bubble number two. And then the bubble number two basically just goes out. And when you end up going out, that's basically how that works. You go get a job, you have your income. All you're doing is you're getting income and paying your expenses. And this is how many people live, and that is a poor mindset. Now, when it actually comes to having the next type of mindset, which is a middle class mindset, the middle class mindset to me is not even better at all. Because generally what the middle class do is they have their income coming in. Yes, they're paying their expenses, but they also come over here and they purchase these liabilities. So when they purchase these liabilities, Now they also have this number 2 that goes up. So we'll call this 2A, we'll call this 2B, and then that's end up coming out of their expenses. They're purchasing liabilities. They're living in houses that they can't actually afford. They're driving cars that they can't actually afford. And this is causing them to have more and more money taken out, which is why people that end up earning 6 figures can still live paycheck to paycheck. Even people that are earning millions of dollars a year can still be living broke because they have a poor or they have a middle class mindset. They're so focused on looking rich that they are not actually allocating their money or putting their money in the right places. Now, moving on to the rich mindset. When it comes to the rich mindset, what does the rich mindset actually look like? Well, I'm glad you asked. The rich mindset. With the rich mindset, what the rich actually do is they say, hey, look, I went and I used my most valuable asset, which is my time, to go out there and earn money. But instead of going out there and just putting my money into my expenses, which I know I have to pay, and instead of going out and buying liabilities, which I would like to buy some luxury things, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my income and I'm going to buy some assets. I'm going to buy some things that are going to put more money into my pocket, which is going to cause my income to increase. And then when my income increases, now I'm able to go and I will go here and I can pay for my expenses. But then I can also go here and I can pay for my luxuries because of the fact that I have assets that is driving up my income, which then allows me to take care of my expenses and also purchase some of the things that I desire to have. Now, where many people actually mess up at this, and I personally did this, is automatically thinking that if we have more money is going to solve our problems. And that is not true. If you want to start having a better life financially, what you first have to do is you must change your mindset. You actually become rich first in your mind before you actually become rich physically. And the reason being is because doing this simple formula right here requires for you to develop new financial habits. And until you start developing new financial habits, you are not going to be able to truly have the financial independent or the financial free life that you really want to have. So, what are you going to decide to do? Are you going to continue down this path, down this road of having a poor mindset or a middle class mindset by just paying your bills, just making enough to pay your bills, or by going and making it look like you're rich by purchasing liabilities so you look good in front of everybody? Or are you actually going to take the time out to go and change your mindset, change your habits? That way you can actually have a financially independent life. The choice is up to you. But I hope that this video was helpful for you, and I will actually catch you in the next video. Peace out for now.